This is Nate Harvey, Elite FTS Equipment Sales and Coach, here with Sam Brown. Today we're going to go over some of the top lower body exercises you aren't doing. We're going to show you some of our top good morning variations. Okay, real quick, the band setup for our bands pulling forward on the yoke bar. Everybody's rack and situation is different. The big thing is we're going to choke it down here, run the band through itself. Okay, and then I'm going to come up and around the bar. All right, pretty simple. The reason we choke this is to make sure that we have tension on the band throughout the full range of motion. So when the athlete's in the bottom of the good morning or whatever motion you might be doing, there has to be tension on the band. Like I said, everybody's setup is different. This is going to be a seated rollover good morning. This is a little more advanced. Don't use a ton of weight on this. This is more kind of a burnout exercise or finisher. All right, go ahead and unrack the bar like you normally would, and then you're gonna take a seat on the box. There you go. Go ahead, sit under control. Now with your feet, you can do a lot of different things. You can leave them right under you. You can put them out in front of you with your legs straight, kind of wide stance. You can bring them in a little closer. No, legs straight, keep your legs straight, and bring your feet in close. You can go that way. That's a little bit more difficult because they have less support. Sam, go ahead and put your feet where you're comfortable. A key thing on this is reverse your breathing, okay? So what Sam's gonna do is kind of tuck his chin and roll over, and as he's going down, he's gonna breathe out. Roll over more, put your face on your lap. And then he's gonna arch up and inhale. Okay, keep going just like that. So by breathing out on the way down, we take out the Valsalva maneuver, which decreases your leverage, all right? And it forces the muscles to work more instead of just having a bunch of air in there to bounce off of. Sam's low back all the way up to his neck and his abs are probably pretty tired already.
Yes.
Okay, next variation we're gonna go over is a SS yoke bar with bands pulling forward. Just go with that with a standard good morning. So go ahead and rack it. Step out, brace yourself. Again, we can mess around with the stance. If we go wide stance, all right, we're gonna bring in a little more hips. If we go closer, it's gonna be a little more hamstrings and back, all right? But either way, your coaching cues are the same for both of these. So we're gonna let Sam pick a stance. You're gonna go right in the middle?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, to start this movement, one key thing is pretend you're on a Smith machine. So in your head, as you're going down, this bar is gonna move in a straight line. All right, so the first thing you do, reach your butt back real hard and roll your knees out a little bit. Keep your back flat. Okay. Now you see the bands pulling forward a little bit. To counteract that, tell the person to push out on their feet. And it's gonna lock in their hips and get them better leverage. See how I didn't get pulled forward on that one? So if you're seeing yourself get pulled forward, push out on your feet. That's good. Sam's doing a really good job with this. Again, like we talked about on the RDLs, keep going. If your athlete's having a hard time keeping their back and they're rounding over like this, tell them to pinch their shoulder blades and tell them to look straight ahead, and that will typically flatten them out. Good, nice, control the reps. Don't go too fast. All right, go ahead and rack it. So for demonstration purposes, we didn't have any weight on the bar, we just went with the bands. Typically, where we'll put this in our programming is a second barbell movement. So after your main squat or your main deadlift, get some good mornings for a good supplemental lift. Typically 3 to 5 sets of 5 to 8 reps will get you. Okay, next variation we're gonna do is gonna be a wide stance, Zercher good morning with the bands pulling forward. Any of these combinations you can kind of mix up. So this is gonna be wide stance, you could go close stance. Ton of different variations with only a couple of things here. So go ahead, cup the bar in your arms. Before you unrack, suck your shoulders back, pull the bar into your chest tight, all right? Start the movement by reaching your hips back and rolling your knees out. Good. Generally, we would like to get the back parallel with the floor if we can, but not everybody can do that. So go to the point where you get a good stretch down your hamstrings and glutes, okay? The difference with this one is it's gonna tax your upper back way more than the other one because you have to hold that yoke bar in your arms. This is really good for wrestlers, combat athletes, strongman. Outside of that, who couldn't use a stronger upper back. Okay, we're gonna do a stepped out good morning with the rackable camber bar here and chain. Chains and bands are always a good idea because you can deload the lift in the most vulnerable position. So for a good morning example, as he goes down, there's gonna be less weight in the bottom, which is where most people would get hurt. So there's always the argument of you shouldn't use bands or chains with beginners, but as long as you scale them correctly, it's usually a good idea. And again, with the camber bar, we're gonna save shoulders, okay? So what you're gonna do is step under the bar, get your feet under, get your air, do your typical walkout, all right? And then what Sam's gonna do is he's taking his toe on his back leg, lines it up with his front foot heel. And then from there, he's gonna put a slight bend in his front leg, in the knee, yep. Now just reach his hips back and roll that knee out a little bit. Yep, externally rotate, good. Keep going down until he gets a good stretch and then stand up. So that back foot's only for a little bit of balance, okay? You're gonna feel this all in the front leg glute. All right, keep going. Things to watch out for are the hips shifting laterally. Same thing with the back, keep it nice and flat and parallel. Sam, as you go down, look straight ahead. There you go. He doesn't have to look up, but just kind of look straight out into the horizon. That'll help keep everything flat and lined up where it should be. And then he's gonna go ahead, finish this rep, reset his feet and switch over to the other leg. There you go. All right, our next variation is gonna be a walking good morning. We're gonna use a camber bar and we're hanging plates with bands on this. So we'll get some movement and have maximal core power excitation in this one, all right? So go ahead up. We're gonna have him do a Zercher variation. If you have some partners, you could have them go over your head and go right on your back, but the movement's the same. So just like in the stepped out good morning, he's gonna step out with a heel to toe relationship, reach your hips back, roll the knee out, look straight ahead and keep his back flat. Next step is only heel to toe, so you're not traveling very far on this. Okay, he's doing a good job. Watch his knee. When he goes down, it kind of rolls out a little bit. That's gonna let your hip work the way it should. Your knee should not be locked out. You don't have to bend it a little bit or a lot, just roll the knee out a little bit. Now, if we wanna make this harder, kind of stand up a little quick, couple quick. All right, now go, keep going. Control down, up quick, okay? And then the bands and the weights will move a little more, gives a little more difficulty. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like any of the stuff we went over today, links are below. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell.